Hey guys, I'm Rick and welcome back to Maple Syrup Tech. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Ice Blade 100 from Deepcool, which is pretty much the most budget tower cooler you can find on the market from a reputable source. So of course you can find sometimes cheaper eBay like no-name models or even on Amazon, but I wanted to look at the most basic tower cooler I could find on the market just to see, is it even worth the $12.99 that it costs here in Canada and probably the closer to $10 it'll cost in the US, or are you just better off sticking with the stock coolers, especially nowadays since Ryzen has now included pretty decent stock coolers with their processors. So we're going to do a comprehensive review today. Let's start with just an overview of the cooler itself. So it's a classic tower style cooler with a single 8mm heat pipe design. It comes with a 92mm fan and basically it's rated for up to 95 watts TDP. The fan can spin up to 2200 RPM and it's only a 3-pin connector. That's something we'll come back to later. Basically, it fits any modern Intel or AMD platform all the way up to AM4. And for dimensions, we have it standing at 135mm high, 103mm wide, and 70mm deep. Basically, that just means that it'll fit pretty much. It shouldn't cause too many clearance issues with too many boards, and everything except the smallest mini ITX systems should be able to fit this tower cooler. So if we look overall the cooler, it's a pretty minimalistic design. However, I just want to mention I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the build quality on the cooler itself, because sometimes in these cheap coolers you actually see a good demarcation between the aluminum and the copper pipes, meaning that basically sometimes they're not even or there's a lot of spacing in between. But even though it's a really budget part from Deepcool, the contact pad is really flat. There's almost no space in between the aluminum and the copper where they meet. So honestly, build quality wise, I was pleasantly surprised with this cooler overall. So let's go look quickly at the performance before we get more thoughts on the cooler itself. So performance wise, when we look at cooling, basically it did better than both Ryzen stock coolers, as you'll see in the chart that should be on the screen right now. However, it's only beating the Ryzen Spire, which is the high-end Ryzen cooler, by about 2 degrees Celsius. Obviously my charts are always in delta temperatures, so that's above ambient, so we adjust for ambient temperatures as best we can. However, it does beat the Ryzen Stealth cooler pretty much by about easily 6 degrees Celsius. So overall, pretty decent performance for $12.99 Canadian or like 10 US. If we look at the noise charts, however, this muddies the waters a little bit because it is noticeably louder than both Ryzen coolers. And also principally because we're looking at a 3-pin fan design on this one. Unfortunately, unless you have a aftermarket program or if your motherboard has voltage control, this fan's pretty much going to be spinning all out all the time. So the 51 decibels you can hear there is pretty much what you're going to hear all the time with this design. So overall, now that we've looked at the performance, overall I've got to say, for the money you're investing, you're getting a decent cooler. If you're looking at the Intel platform, this is going to beat the stock cooler by easily an extra 2 to 4 degrees above what you're seeing for the Ryzen Stealth. So if you're on Intel, you really can't put more than 10 to 12 bucks on a cooler. It's actually a really good buy. However, what I was going to get to is that the problem isn't necessarily the cooler itself, it's the competition. Even from Deepcool itself, for $2 to $3 extra, you actually have a lot better options out there that will give you more performance, quieter fans. So the problem isn't the cooler itself, it's just that it's such a small price difference to get something with noticeably better performance that although this little cooler for $12 is very decent, and overall, as we saw in the numbers, it's a product that is a worthwhile buy if you really can't put any extra money. The problem is, as we'll see in the next few days, there's coolers between $15 to $20 that'll beat it easily and that are probably a better buy if you can put the extra $5 in. However, getting back, if you're really stuck on a budget, if you have the Ryzen Spire, I wouldn't recommend buying this, because for the extra 2 degrees, the noise difference is not worth it, and that 2 degrees Celsius is not really going to get you any more overclocking headroom, so you're just better off sticking with the Ryzen Spire. However, if you're stuck, like I said, with the Intel or the Ryzen Stealth, and you really can't put any more money, yes, it is a good buy, and it will give you a little bit extra overclocking headroom. You can comfortably probably push a Ryzen 3 all the way to 4 gigahertz on this, going to like 1.35 volts, somewhere around there, easily. However, if you're running an i7 or a Ryzen 5 1600 and above, I would say forget this cooler. Anyway, it's rated for 95 watts TDP, and if you're overclocking, you'll easily go above that on the processor itself. So, you know, it's just wouldn't be a recommendation for 24/7 use. Other than that, if we look at if you are interested, however, in buying the cooler, something new on the channel here is I have my Amazon affiliate account open, so the link will be in the description down below. It does help the channel if you use the Amazon link. It'll help me get more videos out there, buy more products, because right now pretty much all the money that I make, if we could call it that, is going to be directly reinvested into the channel, getting more products to push out more reviews for everyone out there. So, you know, if you want to help me out and you were looking at buying this cooler anyway, do please follow the Amazon link down below. Now, the Amazon link is only for Canada, unfortunately, because I was not able to find it on the US site for Amazon. And actually, if any of you know out there know where you can actually buy this cooler in the US, because neither Newegg nor Amazon had it on its listings, please let me know in the description down below. I would really like to be able to add it to the description of the video and basically, you know, help anyone out there that wants to buy the cooler in the US. Other than that, well, as usual, if you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below in the comments section. We're not going to go any more depth in the review because honestly, it's a basic cooler. There's not much more to look at it than that. Just be aware of the three-pin fan design on it if you are buying it. Because like I said, if you are worried about noise, you know, you're going to need another solution to reduce the fan speed. And as usual, please like, please subscribe, helps the channel out, helps me, you know, continue pushing out videos, and I hope I see you guys in my next review.